Home, sweet home. I'm back.
What's up, hoes? Welcome back to another video. Today it's gonna be a little bit of a rambling video. Basically explaining my final thoughts on Natlan. So I've kind of broken the video up into, I guess, 3 parts. Talking about the characters and like their character designs and how I thought of them, story, and finally the gameplay, and kind of like what I wanted to see, expect to see, the good and the bad, ugly, and everything in between. And yeah, I just hope you guys just, like, subscribe, comment, enjoy, let me, interact with me or whatever. And yeah, I think we just gonna go ahead and get into the video, starting with the characters. Starting off with characters. Okay, so the first character that we're gonna be talking about is, of course, well, it's not even really first, the main character that I had an issue with is Mavuika. Everybody had it, like, girl, a bodysuit, a leather bodysuit at that.
Because Lord knows that you was wearing bodysuits and Jordans when you first came out.
And then it's just like, for a biker as a pyro archon, I think it would have worked better as a whole, because you can very much tell like Natlan are technologically advanced. I think they should have shown that better for it to have made sense. Like, had they more so incorporated the dragon technology in the scenery, because if you look at the scenery and how the scenery is built, it's more, old tribal instead of like high-tech cyber tech tribal. So I think had they incorporated that like better, instead of like giving us that half-ass, oh yeah, dragon technology was more advanced. Okay, so y'all live around dragons, right? Y'all live around dragons, y'all should be more high-tech, y'all buildings should be more high-tech, like everything should be like, they really should have been, the whole nation should have been more high-tech than what it was.
Clock that speed. Clock that speed. Clock that speed, bitch. What?
So I think had they done that and went that direction with the more high-tech looking nation, even if that had upset people, it would have more so incorporated her, not only her design, but Kenichi's design, Jalona's design, even like Chaska's design. Like, it would have made it make more sense, because like, why she got roller skates on, plays what, like some type of like keyboard thingy, Jalona does, and then it's like Kenich has like a whole game theme. So had they like gone more technological in like the whole setting of Natlan, it would have made it like so much better, because then it would be like, okay, she has a bike, and then it's like the excuse that they kind of like gave about her bike, it's like she got her bike, she had plans, and she gave those plans to Jalona. Okay, so are we gonna explain where she got the plan? She just thought of that. She just saw old dragon technology and just thought of that.
I'm trying to add this up. Hold up, wait. So let me run it back.
No, baby, that don't make no sense at all. Also, particularly with Mavuika's gameplay, it just kind of like pissed me off, because like that's not what I expected her to be like. Like, she was never shown with no bike to the damn end of the story quest, when it's like, okay, now how are we gonna get out of here? And then all of a sudden she pops up with a bike. Mind you, ain't never seen no helmet. It was never like hinted like, okay, this is like besides her bodysuit, because it's like kind of like the bitch is, yeah. But like besides that, it was kind of like they never gave no hint. Like, even when she was fighting Capitano, like nobody, like, she was fighting with a claymore and hands, baby. She was going straight. So when I had seen her gameplay, I was thinking, like, what the hell is, we ain't seen no bike before, but maybe where the bike come from?
That's not what the fans want to see. That's literally what the fans don't want to see. Do you understand? Like, that's not what they want to see. And that's not what the fans want to see. That's what the fans, I promise you, don't want to see.
Yeah, and then they didn't even explain it like good enough. They didn't explain it good enough for me, and I obviously didn't explain it good enough for y'all, because that's why them banner sales was like, let's break that up. But no, when I had seen her gameplay, I was more like, in my mind I was more thinking like she's gonna be like Dia, kind of like how she fights with her fists. Like, I was expecting her to, boom boom, like she used her claymore, like swing her claymore, then like her skill would kind of be like, that's when she's going to, her night soul mode, and she used her fist. And even if she had that like little thing where, where she's off field, where it like applies pyro, that would have been cool to still keep that. And then her like elemental burst, I was thinking it was gonna be more like when she had fought Capitano, and it was like she released like all those things, or if it was like a big old like bird, like how when she had, I'm gonna just play the clips, little scene. like had she had that, and I like that's how I was thinking. But then it's like when her gameplay came out and she was on a bike and she was fighting with a bike and everything was with a bike, I'm just kind of like,
Okay. Whatever that means.
No, that don't work. So I feel like that's where they dropped the ball. Besides skin color, it's kind of like, girl, I feel like the other characters, even Varessa, I think they did a little bit better with her. I know a lot of people don't like her. I actually think her outfit is like really cool, but I get like where people is coming from, because it's like, this is what you was gonna give us. And like, but I don't know, people be like wishy-washy, because it's like they would talk about how Varessa was like so revealing and XYZ, but then it's like you got Escoffier and it's like, and the bitch is wearing an apron. So we gonna wake that up, we're gonna criticize that or now?
Clock that speed. Clock that speed. Clock that speed, bitch. What?
That's a health safety hazard, baby. She's a wrestler, okay? And have y'all watched WWE? They be having little skimpy outfits and little, cute outfits. Have you watched any Japanese wrestling, baby? They be having that. Some of the girls, they be having that little short, cute skirts. And so I didn't think that there was nothing. But that's not the type of wrestler she was. But it was, in that lane. So I don't think there was nothing wrong with her. I just wish, like, had they, with the more technological, like they had did with the character designs, they should have incorporated it better in the scenery. And not just, like, they incorporated it like after, like in the world quest, but like in the main story quest, the art conquest, is like that's not the initial scenery that we've seen, like in the world quest where you got to progress with the little buddy and all that to see like the dragon technology. Like that's really cool how they had set it, but it was like they should have incorporated it more. Like it should have been more advanced or more like humanized before it to like for tribes to like look that old, and then you have like this new technology. It just kind of like it don't mesh well. So that I feel like that's where a lot of tension came in with a lot of the characters, because like, okay, you got all this technology but this don't, the scenery, had they changed it, basically, baby, to sum it up, had they changed the scenery, the characters would have sold better, end of the day, just like that. So the story, at least the art conquest, was good all the way up until the end. When it was just kind of like, I'm going to give the story a little bit of grace, because I feel like Natlan's story is probably the best story, or at least the second best, because Fontaine might be the best written story so far. But I think Natlan is like a close second. I think, this is just me, that's my personal opinion. Because of the voice acting problems, it hurt the story a lot.
Good thing she don't get paid for thinking.
And by a lot, I mean a lot. So because of the voice acting, it's like, baby, I didn't want to play this. If I can't hear my favorite characters was getting replaced, I know Kenichi got replaced. Some characters was just not voiced at all. What is going on with that? So I feel like that hurt at least the art conquest, because the world quest is good. It's no criticisms. The only thing with that is they should have incorporated the world quest more. Some of the things in the world quest should have been in the art conquest. Hello, let's wake that up. Let's clock that. Let's wake that up. But like I don't know. It is like the story was a whole mess. Like after, like the story could have ended right after Mavwika had pushed back the abyss and broke the sky. The whole party part is like, no, they could have erased that. They could have changed it around. Like. And I'm gonna tell y'all how I would have did it if I was in that writings room. So I think after she would have put, like, as she was pushing back in like 5.2 to 5.2 art conquest, like while everybody was fighting the abyss, and then she was up in the sky fighting off the abyss, well, pushing it back or whatever. I wouldn't have made it to where I would have made it to where she destroyed the sky, but it was like she would have followed after the abyss to like, that would have been its final hurrah. And then it was like the traveler accompanied, I think I would have had Capitano sneak off. That's when we would have had the whole, Renova scene. I would have kept the whole scene with, them fighting and, everybody believing. But it's like, instead of like how everybody was like in that crowd and it was like crying, like when the flame went out, I wouldn't have had that. I would have had like everybody, they kind of like stopped fighting the abyss and all that, and that's when they, you know, did their like little chants and from all over, you know, while the shit with the abyss is still, you know, happening. And that would have like, and then they could have like had that whole story, and then they had escaped and they had finally defeated the abyss, and then that's when they could have had that whole scene where, you know, they're like, you know, they, after, you know, all the scene, that's when they're kind of like, okay, where the hell is Capitano at? That's when we could have had the whole scene with Renova and, you know, all that BS and all that save, and had basically in his whole Captain little story. And that would have ended 5.2. We would have ended off on a good note. And then 5.3, that's how they should have done it. If they was gonna do the party, it would have been like, okay, the party is gonna be not only for winning the abyss against the abyss, but also like honoring the dead. I would have liked to see just not them only like preparing for the party, but like also like clearing up the stuff, like, you know, having to travel, like just basically go around and help around. Since Natlan is ending, where's the Gnosis, baby? Mabuka still got the Gnosis. I think I would turn 5.3 our conquest into like about until we get the Gnosis. So how I would have did it, you know, after the party, you know, everybody cleaning up, I would have had the Fatui like sneaking around Natlan. I think I would have had like characters like Chaska, Zalonin, Mulani, Sitlali, kind of like aid the travel, like kind of like tell the traveler, like, hey, you know, not to bother you, but like Fatui is here. And they like all tried to like kind of like figure out what the Fatui was doing, if that makes sense, under the Pyro Archon's nose. That's how I kind of like do the story. Like, okay, I would have had to swear like they got the party basically like all the way set up, and then that's when they make they grand entrance like after the party, and then everybody's like, because they thinking that they think the Fatui there to bang basically, baby.
Like these bitches dressed like they came to bang, like.
And so like everybody, you know, the traveler, you know, Malone and Chaska, you know, all them, they would have basically been like,
What?
Mavuka would have had like chilling, you know. And then it was like, I think because we already know that the Torre, Sandroni, and Pina are in Nod Cry, I would have had it where Arlecchino and Child be the ones that basically like come to collect the notes. It's like Arlecchino, because you can obviously tell, you know, the bitch can bang, but she can't bang as hard as Mavuka. So I would have had her as like the negotiator, and Child would be there kind of like, you know, shit pop off, baby, you already know he with the shit, you know what I'm saying? That's what I would have had them two as, like kind of like walking in, like as everybody's celebrating, they kind of walk in like that boy yeah, like they the shit basically. Mavuka, you know, the bitch would have been cool and like, okay. And then they would have just kind of like came, collected the Gnosis, and that kind of like would have shocked everybody, and they would have kind of been like, you know, Archon, bitch, what are you, what's going on? And then, because, you know, they was trying to keep it under the whole nose whole time. The whole nose, whole been know when they step foot up in this hoe, baby, she knew, okay? Like the plan B didn't work, baby, I'm in this hoe. So basically it would have been like a, you know, a little exchange, baby. She don't need the Gnosis no more. Like, what does she need? The abyss is gone, everybody can, the people don't have to fight no more. Everything would have been cool. The Gnosis would have been collected, and that's kind of like how the story would have ended for Natlan. You can definitely tell they changed the story. The 5.0, let's talk about that. Since we are still in 5.8 and this is being recorded, and like Nod Cry is like what, a day away when I'm recording this and maybe uploading this, maybe, I don't know, who knows. But the 5.8, I feel like that is probably, it's a good summer event, but out of all the other summer events, it is the worst. I think they ran out of time. I think with this whole, I think they had so much more that they wanted to do with this whole story. They just ran out of time, and they got to get the, and I think they're running out of time. I think one side of Hoyoverse is like, they trying to like go slow, trying to explain it. It's like the other side is like, okay, let's go ahead and get this shit moving. Like, we kind of, to take that chapter, wrap this shit up. You can definitely tell by that new UGC thing that they released, and that if you don't know, baby, we're gonna be talking about it in another video, in my Nod Cry video, if it comes out. But yeah, I feel like, damn, I forgot what I was talking I forgot what I was talking about. But no, oh yeah, that's what we was talking about. 5.8. I can tell that they intended to have like Bennett's story be somehow incorporated into Natlan, but it was like they just ran out of time, so they used the summer event, and they was kind of like, here, damn, like, okay, now y'all got y'all explanation, like, let's, because it's like, it was really not like nothing interesting about the story besides, you know, we do learn about Venti and, you know, the marriage of Ari, and that was kind of like, okay, it was interesting because I like the story, but it was also kind of like how they had planned it. It's like, oh yeah, Venti's here, he's just kind of like snuck off, and you know, we really never saw him, and then he just explained it, so it's kind of like, it just kind of like defeated the purpose. I was like, okay, who really gives a fuck? you know, that's just how I feel about it. Also, on top of that, if anybody noticed, if anybody has played the other ones, you'll notice that they cut that, because usually the summer events last all the way until the end, and they actually didn't do it like that this time. But I think that's because I think they did say that they was keeping that story quest. So I mean, I guess, but that was kind of like, whatever, who really cares about that? But I didn't like that. I think that was very weird. Whole thing with the sibling, sibling story quest, I didn't play that. Why? Because of the voice acting mess ups. So I can't really like talk about that one because I don't know. I've watched like the clips and all that, but it seems like a good story. It seems like, I mean, they always do the sibling story quest, right? So there's no thing about there, you know, they leave us with more questions than they want to answer the last time. So, but it was like that I like that. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay. So, no, we got to get into this because this, I can very much tell, this is about to start being a very big problem in Genshin Impact, and that is the need of 5-star supports for a 5-star DPS. Like, oh, I could not believe that. Like, when Skirt came out, which her story quest, lazy as fuck. I meant to put that in the story gameplay. I mean, the part about the story, but now that I just really thought about it, lazy as fuck. And I wish they wouldn't have released her just yet. It was honestly, I think they should have released her with a new element, waited till Not Cry, maybe the end of Not Cry, or it was just really lazy. I'm not happy with that at all. But yeah, it was like Escoffier, you need Escoffier in order for Skirk to be good. You need Sit Lolly and Jalonin in order for Mawiko to be good. I think the only person that was like really didn't need anybody else was probably like maybe Mualani, Tanich, and Varissa. I think they was like the only ones that could really withstand without, it was like all the other ones, like all like the big heavy hitters like Skirk and all that. So I'm saying like I can very much tell it Not Cry, you're probably gonna, which spoiler alert, they saying that Alice is gonna need Nicole, you know, for better synergy, something bullshit, you know, meta shit that I don't know about. But yeah, it's just kind of like that's the direction that y'all are starting to go in, to where y'all making 5-star DPSs where you basically need them but they're not as good. Like that's I can definitely tell that's starting to get to be a problem. Oh, we got to talk about this. I like the concept of the Night Soul state, but baby, the way they went about it was very bad. And what I mean by that, I don't mean like the world exploration, like okay, outside of Natlan I can understand it kind of like runs out, that's kind of fucking annoying, but I can get it. You know that boss, yeah, that bitch. The fact that you need Natlan characters in order to do that, and I haven't, even with Natlan characters, like I would have Jalon and Sit Lolly and Mawika all in the same team, and they still cannot kill that thing. I think the only character that I found that was like able to like really take that out was Chaska. And guess what? That character released when Chaska was out, so it's very apparent that they made that boss so that you had to use Chaska, which I don't like that. I can already tell that that's also gonna probably be a problem in Not Cry, where you need certain characters to do certain things. Now in the Abyss, that's just how they always been. You need this character to XYZ for the Abyss. But in open world or an overworld, baby, they need to pick it up. And that, like the little Numa Osaya, like okay, that didn't really affect nobody. Like okay, you can use Numa and Osaya because it's gonna give you the advantage, but it's not gonna, baby, you're not really being hindered. You know what I'm saying? But it's like with Natlan, it's like, oh, bitch, you gonna be pushed back. If you don't got this character, you don't got that character, you gonna be pushed back. So, and I can tell that that's gonna kind of be how they going with Not Cry, just because they, you know, like basically you're not gonna be able to make it through the game if you don't have certain characters, and that's where I think they gonna lose a lot of people. I think that's gonna piss a lot of people off, because, but I think a lot of people are gonna still come back because new characters are coming, new characters that they've been waiting on. That's why I feel like a lot of people, because some of the, you know, characters are like, and with Not Cry, like they're nice, but it's like, let's see what y'all can do. Because like so far with some of the leaks that I've seen, I'm not really impressed with the gameplay. Like visually they're nice, but the gameplay, baby, I'm not impressed at all. But that's for another video, baby. That is for another video. You can definitely tell that Natlan was supposed to be for explorational hosts, because baby, I cannot survive without my Natlan. Like I've tried my Skirk team, love my Skirk team down, but baby, I can't do it. I always find myself switching back to my Natlan team. Like, If I got Mabuka for the bite, sit Lolly when I need to jump up somewhere high. Who else? Well, no, Farina, baby, she gonna always be the hoe for water. I don't care. I don't care what nobody say. But Jalonin, like, she's good. Chaska, I use her for like everything too. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do with Not Cry, so I hope they have good what's her name, Loma. I want her, but baby, I'm gonna skip her. Yeah, I just feel like it's something about Natlan. Like, I feel like personally, Natlan is probably, I know this may sound very, especially because I've just been dragging them a little bit, but I think Natlan is probably like my favorite region. I think Natlan needs, if Natlan could get a second chance, it would probably be like the second best or the best nation, surpassing Fontaine. Like, had they changed around a few things, had the voice acting been different, it would have been gold. I think they would have done so much better, but because of those things, it's been like had they made I think even I think if they had changed the skin colors on them, the whole performance of that whole nation would have been so much better. So I feel like they dropped the ball, because I feel like me personally, like, that nation is like the most united. It's like the most familiar. It just feels like home a little bit. Like, you know, Mondstadt has its like home feeling, but like that's like the bitches is united over there. Like, we that hoe. You know what I'm saying? So that's how kind of like I feel about Natlan. Let me know how y'all feel. I know Not Cry is coming up in like probably like a day or two. Yeah, it is, because it's like what, Monday, Tuesday, tomorrow. Actually tomorrow. Those are my final thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry for a rambling video, but yeah, well, I'm not sorry, I wanted it to be one. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel, your opinions on it. And I guess I'll see you guys in Not Cry.